So welcome, all of you. My name is Robert Ruttmann. I am the founder of Redesigning Financial Services, which is a think tank founded together with EY and the University of St. Gallen that is dedicated to accelerating the structural transformation of the financial services industry, and with a very particular and specific focus on the end client. So what I'm going to do in this very short introduction is really just to give you an idea of why we're doing what we're doing. And then secondly, also give you a little bit of an outlook of what we're going to be doing over the next 2 hours with our wonderful jury members and also with our fantastic and inspirational 5 companies that have joined us here tonight. So with Redesigning Financial Services, we focused a lot on changing business models, on changing client expectations, on technology, all of which are reshaping the face of the financial services sector. But there's one thing that has been a problem for me. And it's this. Last year, we had 12 years left until the worst effects of climate change become completely irreversible. We now have 11 years left. Yeah? My oldest son will be finishing school in 11 years' time, and in that space of time, we need to significantly reduce CO2 and greenhouse gas emissions. And I've kind of lost hope in policymakers. The last hope that I have is really in new business models in entrepreneurs, and how market-driven mechanisms can serve as a solution to solving some of the world's most challenging problems. And this is when we started thinking about how we can connect these two worlds. We've built up a powerful ecosystem of financial services providers, of investors, of entrepreneurs in the financial services area, and how we can connect this with really inspiring business models that will try to be part of the solution to some of the global challenges that we are facing. And this is the birth of the pitch arena. We tried to do it like Shark Tank, just with a lot more heart, hopefully a little bit more intelligence too. And our goal for today is really for all of you to leave here having had a wonderful, inspiring event. Also, having the feeling that you've participated. We'll talk about how we will do that in just a second. And thirdly, also, because we represent a university, that you perhaps remember some of the insights that are shared with you this evening. So we have this educational component. Yeah? So what I'd like to do, and very important for this event today, is we have 7 wonderful friends and investors that I'd like to introduce to you today. So we have here, we'll start on the left, we have wonderful Robin Errico. She is on the executive board as the Chief Risk Officer of EY Switzerland. Also a wonderful person. Please speak to her after the event. We have Karl Verbrugger, who is a partner of Lombard Odier, one of the most transformational financial services companies in this country, and I would even say in the world. The first big company, don't be so humble, the first big company that has applied for B Corp certification and has succeeded. He's also an angel investor himself and owner of 10 companies, and he's also a very nice person. As you will know, this is an important selection criteria. Danielle Town. She's a New York Times bestselling author and a former corporate lawyer, and has also turned impact investor now. And we have the 4th person, Babak Dasmalchi, is the head of Credit Suisse's Global Strategic Clients Group. And this is, I guess, the clients that aren't necessarily the retail clients. Babak, if I I'm correct, yeah. So, little joke, not so funny, sorry. Tom Pitts is the European head of Lion Rock Capital. Lion Rock Capital is also, they own a very big stake in Inter Milan, so it's also a not insignificant investment fund. And Anat Bar-Gera, who is has a very long biography, successful biography, first as a serial entrepreneur herself, and now I think we could even say serial investor in addition to that. She's also on the board of the Bank of Cyprus and is the chairwoman of Cybers, which is a cybersecurity company. To make it a little bit more interactive, and hopefully that all sounds so impressive, but I've warned them that I would ask them a question and that they wouldn't know the answer, but I would like all of them just to quickly please share with us, starting with you, dear Robin, what was your most fun experience this summer? Oh.
Well, I had a lot of fun experiences this summer because I had my parents visiting from the U.S. for 5 weeks. However, for me personally, my fun highlight was I bought a new bicycle.
Oh, super.
And I actually rode it.
Yeah, very good, super. Danielle?
I was just back in the U.S. I live here now, but I was back in Colorado, Boulder, Denver area, and got to spend so much time with all my old startup friends and be in that startup ecosystem again. And I just had the best couple of days hearing what everybody was doing. So I'm thrilled to do that more here in Zurich.
Super. Brigitte?
For me, I actually decided to stay here in Zurich for the summer because I travel so much during the year. And it's swimming in the lake almost every day. I just love it.
Wonderful.
I lost a bet against the boyfriend of my second daughter in a table tennis game, which I thought I was going to win. So he pushed me in the pool with all my clothes on, which was the bet.
Well, maybe it wasn't the most fun one, but it was...
memorable is also good, yeah.
Exactly, pretty amazing. So we went to Ireland, the whole family, and we went into this whiskey-making place, maybe 5, maybe 6 years old, in a place that was very laid back. I'm not going to mention the name of the city, not to insult anybody. Totally remote, sort of totally conservative, out of this world. Doesn't look like anything, in Zurich. And then they told us the story, how they started it. A bunch of guys wanted to build a place for the city so that people can have their own whiskey and have places to work at. And sure enough, they started it. And sure enough, after a couple of years, they got stuck without money, couldn't finish execution of the business plan. So what they've done crowdfunding. And I was amazed that, okay, in this place, people do crowdfunding. And this is how they got a good amount of a couple of millions, and they got the business going.
Wonderful. Babak?
After spending about 2 not consecutive weeks with the entire family, in-laws, my parents, all the kids, and as wonderful and as enriching it was for the soul, certainly, if not for our sleep, managed to get away with my wife to a Burning Man party last weekend, and that was not the highlight. The highlight was a 3-hour nap in the afternoon after a long lunch without any kids waking us up.
That's super. And Tom?
I got a 2-part answer. The most fun moment was when I took my 14-year-old son to watch Iron Maiden in Brooklyn. People here, a pretty young crowd. You know Iron Maiden? The most memorable, though, is something that got me in a lot of hot soup, which was I went and watched, you mentioned that we own part of Inter Milan, and I went and watched them play Tottenham in their new stadium, and I happened to mention to the wrong part of the press how much I wanted one of these in Milan, and so he happened to print the next day that I'm in favor of tearing down San Siro and building up a replica of Tottenham, a new stadium in the middle of Milan. So that's made me enemy number 1.
Oh, no. Oh no. So wonderful. Thank you. I wonder if we can give them a round of applause, our wonderful jury. So, as I said, I think this will be most fun if it's as interactive as possible. We will actually have 2 prizes at the end of this event, one of which allocated by the wonderful jury, and the second one will be the audience prize. And I'd like you to invite you to consider 4 criteria by which you can evaluate the quality of the presentations we will be hearing. The first one is the probability of success. Is it really compelling as a business model? The second one is the degree of innovation. Is it really disruptive, or is it perhaps a little bit more of something that already exists? The third one is how compelling the delivery was. This is also not unimportant. How compelling was the delivery of the presentation? And the fourth one is the credibility of the team. Everyone, we discussed this before we met as a jury, and everyone has different ideas of what it means to have a good team. Yeah? Does one execute well? Is it more cohesiveness? But I invite you guys to define that for yourselves. So, without further ado, we will start in just a minute. I'm going to ask Brigitte to give you a brief introduction of the European, and I'll come and get Brigitte in just a second, European and Swiss venture capital industry. And after that, we'll start with 10-minute presentations by the respective startups and 10-minute questions and answers. The important thing is, with the questions and answers, you will be asked to participate, but via a Mentimeter tool. Yeah? That means we have a very big group, as you all see. We're overbooked, actually, today. And maybe you can even register now, or a little bit later, if you will. You can suggest questions. The audience will see them on screen. And you can, especially, the audience said, especially if you put your name next to it, your first name next to it, they will consider it, with a high degree of priority.